points and times removed from the original. You ain't reading Aramaic. You ain't even reading Hebrew. You ain't reading Greek, Koine, or Classical. You're reading the King James English, which is another language. Thus thou therefore therewith. What? What'd he say? Tithe. Folk use their religion now to make God co-sign their bigotry. God would be, if it's so important, how come Jesus ain't never said nothing about it? He ain't said nothing about that because there's bigger issues. There are bigger issues. There's bigger fish to fry. People of color ain't got no right to go around telling nobody who to marry. We can just get married yesterday. Ourselves jumping brooms and stuff, trying to prove we can be married. And then the homophobia is pretty amazing. Because we say, if I'd have known you were gay, I would have never accepted that tuition money. It's going to get retroactively homophobic. It ain't about what your sexual orientation is, because if you need some help, whoever they is, they can help you out. So being gay, James Baldwin was a gay black man. But without him, so much of the moral fervor of the civil rights movement would have been lost. Bayard Rustin was a gay black man, and yet he was the architect of the March on Washington, where Dr. King delivered his famous I Have a Dream speech. You wouldn't even be here celebrating Dr. King to the degree that you're celebrating him without a black gay man named Bayard Rustin. Now, I know I'm in Catholic City and evangelical territory, Latinos in the Catholic Church, black folk in the fundamentalist evangelical church, and we're against all of this. Jesus said at the end of the day, it's about love. Love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, mind, and soul. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Everything else is ancillary. Whether you're reading the Hebrew Bible, the Bhagavad Gita, whether you're reading the Holy Quran, whether you're reading the Tao Te Ching, whether you're reading the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, whether you listen to Jay-Z, I like that Jay-Z underneath Dr. King, the death of auto-tune, like that, Jigga and King, the king of NY and the king of peace. Okay, I guess y'all ain't feeling that. That's kind of hot. Y'all sleeping. Y'all don't make me up here start spitting. I'll just freestyle for you. Good. You wake up. One was named King, the other named Jigga. You turn around, you just figure how to put that together. I'm just spitting for the truth of the peace of the Nobel Prize. I'm turning around and trying to open your eyes. Don't make me start spitting. So the pursuit of the dream must be opened up. Not just in terms of race, so that's critical, but in terms of sexual orientation, in terms of gender, and in terms of class. Those who are poor, we look at what's going on in Haiti right now. We know we should have been more concerned about it. We got to push Obama. Can you reverse this wet foot, dry foot? Cuban brothers and sisters coming here, and they should be allowed to come here, but so should Haitians. What's the difference? The color of the skin? They are all human beings. So this race is real, and I had a note from a scholar who said, you're divisive, Dr. Dyson. He saw me on TV with the hair read and stuff. You're divisive using the word race. Why don't we use another word to signify the realities that those who evoke and conjure the nomenclature of race are part of the problem? All right, cool. Whatever word means, a bunch of folk messed some stuff up for the rest of us, and we got to deal with that. So what are the consequences of that? Whatever that word is, holla. The words may change. The words may be changed to protect the faux innocent, but the reality of our culpability is before us. It amazes me we come from a nation that's always telling people of color and women to be responsible, but don't want to be responsible for its own history. It amazes me that we talk about accountability except when it comes to the dominant mainstream political machinery of this nation. And so Dr. King's dream must be realized not only in terms of race And not only in terms of class, the have-gots versus the have-nots. This is why I argue with Bill Cosby about the pursuit of the American dream. He's mad at poor black folk because they don't talk right. Well, you see, even when they talk right, they're considered to have a Negro dialect if they want to or not. Talking right, what does that mean? Mr. Cosby, you invented Fat Albert. Dumb Donald, Weird Harold, Mushmouth, I'm gonna be back bassoon. What is that? That's not Alfred Lord Tennyson. Though much is taken, much abides, and though we are not now that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven, that which we are one equal temper, heroic hearts made weak by time and fate, but strong in will to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. That ain't that. So what you be talking about? You mad at somebody speaking the King's English to the Queen's taste with their own Negro dialect? Well, they grew up, but we don't even know what a Negro dialect is. But we do be knowing what black English is. We do know what black vernacular is. Now I'm fitting to go. Now I know how to use Negro dialect, and I don't even have to use it unless I want to. But I'll be using it because they be coming in handy depending on where I be. If I'm in a white suburban neighborhood, I say, excuse me, watch that, a brick coming at you. If I'm in the hood, watch out for that alley apple at your head. So you better be knowing where you be to understand what kind of language you be using. You understand what I'm saying? Know what I mean? So the problem is that black vernacular is not a Negro dialect. I guess he was talking about something different. I don't know what that is, but we're going to work for it, Mr. Reed. So the reality is that yes, there are differences linguistically speaking in the traces of the King's English as it has been spoken and transformed Spanglish to in different communities. See, black folk didn't have the advantage of like our Latino brothers and sisters speaking a different language, so we had to invent a language that had been spoken in the midst of white America so they could understand what we be talking about. These Spanish brothers and sisters, ay, caramba. Dios. Mira. ¿Cómo se llama? Ringo. Right? Yeah, folks, I bet they're talking about us. Yes, often they are. Black folk had to pull that off while speaking the same language. James Baldwin said, if black English is a language, then tell me what is. He said, the moral intent and purpose of black vernacular was the ability of black people to speak to one another in a way to warn each other about the damages of white supremacy without the white dominant culture understanding. So when we talk about pursuit of this dream, we talk about differences in race, yes, differences in class as well. The have-gots versus the have-nots. Here we are talking as if because we got some money in the bank that we're better than somebody else. Just because you speak the King's English to the Queen's state don't mean they're going to treat you no better no way. Malcolm X says, what do you call a black man with a PhD? Ask Henry Louis Gates. Now, you in your crib. You might be acting a fool. Because you would be too. I'm at the crib. I came from China. I'm tired. I done told you this is my house. Your mama. I'm sure Professor Gates said he didn't say that. The kind gentleman who was the police person said he did. Your mama is pretty particular. I'm not going to weigh in on that. Something unusual to make up, but I'm not going to weigh in on that. But even if he did, it ain't against the law to talk about somebody's mama. It might be against common sense, but it ain't against the law. And the president weighed in on it, didn't he? And he paid a hell of a price for that. Oh, he called a world-famous black entertainer a jackass named Kanye West. But he called an anonymous white man acting stupidly. And it took a Harvard professor and a black president